Hello, good evening, and welcome here from St. Charles, Illinois. We welcome you for the regional championship overall of the Bartlett Sectional here in the St. Charles North Regional. The two teams looking to take home the title this year, the York Dukes taking on the 4-seed St. Charles North Stars. The 4 versus 5 matchup, a special one to have. This one's set to be contentious. Luca DeSanto alongside me, Zach Silkaitis. Zach, talk about both these teams' first games in their regional.
I gotta be honest, Luca, I think this is going to be one of the better matchups of this entire tournament. These two teams, the 5 and the 4 seed, it's going to be a close matchup. St. Charles obviously 22-7. They have the better record, but it's going to be a barn burner.
Tip-off won by the Dukes. We are underway. Both benches making their noise. Keogh getting this one back up to Avery Larman, now to Briley O'Brien. Ball tipped, Callahan. Larman back out to O'Brien, inside to Silkaitis. Ball tipped, stolen by St. Charles.
Lots of pressure from that defense early on. They're rushing, getting two people on her. That's going to be the first turnover of the game. The Dukes kind of played the same defense that St. Charles is playing right now in their last matchup against
Proviso East.
Excuse me.
Larma with this one in the corner. It's stripped, taken away by St. Charles North again. They slow it down on the break. Here's Barber, swinging this one in the corner. Posada back to Barber. Barber drives inside, gives it back out. 3-ball up. No good there from Johnson. O'Brien lets it go out of bounds.
Very fast-paced game so far. Already 3 turnovers from both teams combined. St. Charles North pressing, same as the Dukes. There's going to be a lot of pressure this game from both sides.
Ball stolen again. Barber gives this one up ahead for Bono for the first points of the game, and an early timeout called here by Coach Collins. Only a minute through. It's a 2-0 game in favor of St. Charles North. Do not go anywhere. You are watching York Sports Network. Back from the break. Dukes basketball out of the timeout. Silkaitis tries giving that one inside, but it's taken away by St. Charles North again. Given up ahead one more time to Bono. Can't hit the layup that time. It's rebounded by Callahan. Looking to take it across the timeline. Got to be careful of that backcourt violation. Silkaitis inside, one more. Keogh goes up and draws the foul.
Nice job by the Dukes finally breaking that press. They already have 5 turnovers just in the first 2 minutes of play. Got to try and slow things down, but with this press being ran by St. Charles North, it's going to be very tough to break it.
First one no good from Kehoe. Second one also off the mark, but it's rebounded by Silkaitis. And we got a jump ball going St. Charles North's way.
Free throw is going to be very important this game. Missing that early on is going to be very tough.
Posada moving this one around the perimeter. O'Brien staying up with her. Bono in the corner. Howe kicks out. 3-ball from Johnson. Up again. This time she connects. Makes this a 5-0 game now.
Had the slightest opening on that 3-point shot. She took advantage of it.
Duke's trying to break the full court press. And that's a 10-second violation.
Duke's just really struggling right now with this press. Barely being able to break through on some plays, and then plays like this, you're going to get a violation called a lot.
Barber back to Posada. Posada pulls up, deep 3-pointer, airballs that one, and it's going the Duke's way.
Kind of a tough shot there. They couldn't really do anything with the ball moving. Couldn't find anybody open. Tried to take the long 3.
Kehoe gets this one across half from the Dukes. They're going to say she stepped out.
A little bit of a late call there. Not sure about that one.
Going to work down low. It's a 7-0 game now in favor of St. Charles. And here's this full court press again. They give it way up ahead here to Silkaitis with a nice lane. She goes up. Can't finish the layup. Posada giving this one over to Johnson. Johnson drives, blocked by Silkaitis. Here they go, moving it up ahead. O'Brien's pass just a bit too far left there for Kehoe.
St. Charles North trying to keep the game fast-paced, and it's working for them right now. They have all the momentum in the gym. Up 7-0. The Dukes cannot find their feeding on offense.
Howe down low again, backing down Kehoe. Gives it back out. Howe likes the matchup, goes up and one. 9-0 now with 4 minutes left in the first.
Tough take, one of the tallest girls on the court. She's going to be a big problem for the Dukes in the paint this game.
Kehoe is going to be subbed out as Burns going to come in. She converts on the free throw, makes this a 10-0 game. York still with nothing on the board. O'Brien up top. Swings this one to Larmo, who's going to step into a 3 and nails it.
Nice quick shot from Larma. Had a little bit of an opening. Elected to take the long 3, and she drilled it.
Barber, deep 3-pointer. Can't respond. O'Brien pulls down the board. Gets it across half. Pulls up from just above the free throw line. That one just a bit too long. Johnson has this one in the corner. Throws it off of Byrne. Stays with the Stars. Johnson goes inside. Tough layup, won't fall. Rebounded by Howe, tipped by Callahan. And O'Brien is fouled from behind.
Good job by the Dukes. They're realizing they're going to have to dribble through this press instead of trying to pass through it.
In comes May Lefevre. Out goes Callahan. O'Brien sees a lane, banks it in.
Nice shot from O'Brien. Took the nice little flutter there and got the roll off the glass.
Barber somehow feeds that one behind her back to Howe, and Lefevre picks up a foul. Ten to 5 game now with 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. St. Charles North still with the lead. Howe inside, gets tied up with Larma. She's going to pick up another foul. Third team foul of the Dukes already.
Very aggressive game so far, trying to poke the ball out, just a little bit too much arm.
Johnson gets that one swiped away by O'Brien.
Dukes playing much better defense in the second half of the first quarter than they first started out.
You saw Coach Collins call that early timeout. Definitely wanted to talk over defensive strategy. Here's Connolly, gives us one outside to Posada for three. Wide open shot falls. Dukes back to trying to break the press. Ball deflected. It will advance. Ball given into Byrne to Silkaitis. Byrne has trouble handling that one. It's taken away by Johnson. Posada up ahead. Floater won't fall, but Howe's there for the offensive rebound, and she's fouled.
Nice job by O'Brien trying to get the ball on down low before she can bring it back up. Fortunately, got the foul called.
Seniors Callahan and Kehoe will come in. Juniors O'Brien and Larma will check out. 13 to 5 now, a minute 43 to go in the first quarter. St. Charles North still on top. Posada in the corner. Connolly drives. Gives it back out. Johnson steps into a corner three. Airballs that one. Callahan's there for the board. Getting doubled. And we got a timeout. Minute 21 left here in the first quarter. Score 13 to 5. St. Charles North still on top. Do not go anywhere. You're watching York Sports Network. Back from the York timeout, it's 13 to 5 in favor of St. Charles North. Here the Dukes trying to get this one across half. Kehoe gives this one up ahead to Lefevre. Lefevre drives, tries to swing that one inside to Byrne, but it's intercepted. Barber swings this one to Johnson, sidesteps, back up top. Connolly comes out from a screen. 45 seconds left in the first. Posada, deep three-pointer. Off the front of the rim. Silkaitis can't handle that ball from Keogh. It's taken back by St. Charles North. Howe, one more to Johnson. Floater falls. High pass control by Silkaitis. Callahan gets it across half. Here she goes. Coast to coast layup is good. That is how the first quarter ends. Your score 15-7, St. Charles North with an 8-point lead. But the Dukes still have some battle left in them. Second quarter coming your way soon. You are watching York Sports Network. Welcome you back. Your score 15-7, St. Charles North with the lead still. York will start with possession. Same faces from before in for the Dukes. Callahan fakes, drives, kicks. Larmo, long floater. That one's not going to fall. She's there for her own rebound. Put back no good. And she fouls Posada from behind.
Dukes being very aggressive. Got the board a couple times in that possession. Just couldn't get the play finished.
Another foul. No. Turnover. May Lefevre comes in. Larma checks out. Got to be careful. Make sure you preserve her so she stays out of foul trouble. Silkaitis gets this one across half. Taken away, though, by St. Charles. Furr with the interception. Posada fakes. Kicks. Johnson, a three. Off the mark, rebounded by Silkaitis. Callahan taking it the other way. Byrne in the corner. Silkaitis steps into a jumper, it's good. Cuts it to a 6-point game. Furr looking. Finds an open Barber who steps into a three. Can't connect. It's hauled in by Kehoe. Silkaitis. Kicks out. Callahan. Over to Lefevre. Kehoe out to Callahan. Ball tipped. Tried to give it to Byrne. Getting fought with up top, and it's going to be a jump ball staying with the Dukes. Correction, St. Charles North.
Wow, St. Charles defense absolutely impeccable right now. Every time the Dukes find an open pass, it's being swatted away, and they're resetting their offense every time.
Howe and Evanoff now in for St. Charles North. Johnson can't control that pass right through her hands. Duke's basketball.
Duke's doing a way better job in the second quarter at breaking this press, really taking their time and finding the opening players down the court.
The Fever getting it across half to Byrne. Silkaitis out to Callahan. Silkaitis gets bumped from behind, ball stolen, and another jump ball staying with York. That pass short there for LaFever. Instead, it's in the hands of Johnson. Up ahead now. Connolly is fouled.
Duke's having a really tough time right now. They're kind of telegraphing their passes. St. Charles North knows exactly where they're passing before they even want to pass the ball, which is leading to so many turnovers for the Dukes early on.
Posada's first free throw, Connolly's first free throw off left. Larma and O'Brien back in. LaFever and Byrne check out. Connolly goes 0 for 2 from the line. What are they going to say? Yes, they're going to say St. Charles North last to touch that ball.
Larmer shoved to the ground on that play. No call.
O'Brien getting this one across half. Larma saves that one from going out of bounds, throws it off of Evanoff.
Larma being hounded on these inbound plays, one of the taller players for the Dukes. They're going to try and get it to her almost every time.
Larma in the corner for 3. Airballs that one. It's rebounded by Callahan. Back out up top. Kehoe drives. Floater. Just long. And a foul down low. Tomalak checks in now. Johnson checks out for St. Charles North. Kehoe gets this one from the perimeter. She drives inside, kicks. Pass too high there for O'Brien.
Both teams kind of slowing down on offense in this quarter. Haven't seen St. Charles North score in a while. Same with the Dukes.
They get it across half. And a foul on St. Charles North. It's going the other way. Connolly checks out. Nowak comes in. Larma going across half. Gives it back out. Callahan to O'Brien. O'Brien gives it inside to Silkaitis. Back out. Callahan steps into a 3. Not going to fall. Taken away by St. Charles North. Posada gets it across half. Howe outside. Posada for 3. Rims around and out. And a push from behind. Another foul on the Dukes.
Dukes racking up lots of fouls now. They already have 3 in this quarter. Got to be careful.
Ball taken by Larma. Now up ahead to O'Brien. O'Brien pushing the pace. Gonna wave off the basket. Calling off-ball foul.
That's the right call. Unfortunate for the Dukes, though. Still gonna have another chance to score.
Larma gets this one inside off the inbound. Layup is good.
Nice find to Larma, a nice finish by her. Being very aggressive in the paint today.
And an offensive foul called. Travel.
Duke's doing a way better job in this second quarter, causing a lot more turnovers, and was able to capitalize on our offensive possessions.
3 minutes, 45 seconds left in the first half. It's a 4-point game. O'Brien has to save that one. Not going to call a backcourt violation. Silkaitis to Larmo. Goes inside, swatted from behind, but a foul is called.
Like I said, Larma way more aggressive in the paint than she normally is. She's doing a fantastic job. Larma at 5 points today. She's leading the Dukes.
Her first one rattles out. Bruno back in for the Stars. Larma goes 1 for 2 from the line. We got a timeout called by St. Charles North. It's a one-possession game now. The Dukes having a little stretch of their own. With that, we will step away. You are watching the IHSA Regional Championship here on York Sports Network. Welcome back. Score 15-12. St. Charles North up by 3. They have possession out of the timeout. Drive here from Buono. Goes inside from the corner.
Nice take. Silkaitis did get a hand on it, but it still went in.
Larma thought about stepping into one. O'Brien comes up from half. And we got a travel.
Tried to just be a little bit too quick there.
Kehoe on the floor for that ball. It's a skirmish and a jump ball.
Another great possession by the Dukes. They're getting on the floor. They're getting dirty trying to get the ball.
Buono drives inside again. Can't finish on that one. Howe is there for the cleanup. Another foul on St. Charles North.
Very tough to stop a player like Howe. obviously the tallest girl on the court, especially with the refs calling so many fouls today. You got to be very careful around her.
Back in comes Byrne, out goes Kehoe. 2 minutes, 21 seconds left here in the first half. O'Brien now at the stripe for 2 for York. First one falls. Second one is good as well. Johnson back in here for St. Charles North. Posada. Looking, gives it to Johnson. Barber back to Buono. Barber trying to get a look. Gives it behind to Posada again. Buono drives, kicks, Posada. Long possession here, Johnson a 3. Off the mark, rebounded by Buono, given out to Posada, who drives inside herself. Tough floater is good.
This team is doing a great job of facilitating the ball right now, giving Posada that option for that open floater.
O'Brien pulls up from 3. Just a bit short. Johnson going the other way. And a foul on the Dukes. Back in comes Kehoe, out goes Larma. Her third foul of the night, too.
Yeah, you have to take her out after that play. You're going to need her for later in the game, especially being the tallest player for the Dukes.
Barber in the corner to Johnson. Inside, Howe. Going to work. Got it to fall again.
Howe on 3 defenders somehow got it to drop.
O'Brien getting it across half. And a foul on St. Charles. York in the bonus still, so it's going to send O'Brien to the line again. Went 2 for 2 on our last trip. Drills her first. Her second one is good as well. 7-point game. Mismatch between Barber and Posada right now. Duke switch back. 5 seconds left. Johnson loses control of that one. Dukes with a bit of time here to get a shot off before we head for the lockers. Back in comes Furr and Tomalak. Out go Johnson and Howe. One more substitution made. Posada's going to sit. Connolly comes back in.
Dukes one last chance at a shot here. Let's see what Coach Collins drew up.
Kehoe gets this one. Over to Callahan. Fakes from 3. Can't get it to fall. That is how the first half ends. Your score, 23-16 in favor of St. Charles North. Again, Zach, like you said, this game would not be easy by any means. The Dukes still staying close with this one, as it is the 5-4 seed matchup.
Yeah, very close thus far. Dukes got to do a little bit better on the offensive end. They're doing good. They're getting the shots they need. None of them are just falling right now. St. Charles North obviously doing a great job on defense as well, causing so many turnovers early on, which helped them get out in front.
With that, we will step away. Second half coming soon. You are watching York Sports Network. jump around being played right now. Second half about to start off. It will be the Dukes with possession. They trail by 7, score 23-16 in favor of St. Charles North still. Dukes still looking to battle back. Callahan, a deep three-pointer. Not going to fall. Silkaitis trying to fight for that board. Kicks it out. Byrne, a three. No good again. Johnson in the corner. Johnson drives. Tries to give that one down low to Buono, but blown up by the Dukes.
Let's see if the Dukes are going to be doing a better job of breaking this press in the second half.
Callahan still in the backcourt with O'Brien. That's a 10-second violation.
Still struggling. They're going to have to dribble their way out of this one. Every time they pass and pick up their dribble, it's not doing anything good for them. And that's going to just result in more and more 10-second violations.
If anything, take notes from what the boys team does a lot of times. You see when Carter Heron checks in for them at the point guard, he just puts his head down and runs. You're going to have to run through a body or two maybe, but here it is right here, O'Brien. Kehoe down low. Layup no good. Fighting for the rebound, and it's a jump ball. Will be St. Charles North's basketball.
Duke's still doing a great job this game at being aggressive on both sides of the court.
Buono inside. Gives it out up top. Posada thought about shooting that one. Inside, Howe has a nice lane inside. Goes up and is fouled by Silkaitis.
Howe using the size to her advantage. Like I said earlier in the game, she's going to be a big problem for the Duke, especially later down the stretch.
Howe's first free throw falls. Second one won't go. Callahan gets this one across the timeline. Kehoe getting doubled. Swings it to O'Brien. Bryant goes inside, tough look, airballs that one. Keogh's there for the board, gives it out. Callahan is going to try again from three, and that one falls.
Nice ball movement by the Duke to find Callahan with the open shot. She took a one from a little bit longer, but she got to go.
Johnson kicks. Barber up top. Barber, no basket, foul inside. They're going to put that one on Kehoe. Johnson back out to Barber, now Posada. Johnson drives, tries splitting the lane, and she's fouled. They're going to call it on the shot.
I think she was whacked a little bit down low on the transfer up to the basket.
Johnson's first one's good. Second one won't go. Callahan's there for the board. They get it across half. Ball tipped. O'Brien over to Silkaitis. Now Burns steps into a three. Got it! It's a one-possession game.
Great deflection by the Duke. Silkaitis, great hustle to get that ball over to Burns.
Howe inside, gives it down low to Buono. Swipe from behind on the shot.
Yeah, kind of hooked her right side on the way up. Still a close game. This game could go either way. Plenty of time left remaining in this third quarter.
They call that one on Byrne. Her third foul. Buono connects on her first free throw. Discussion here between the refs on when exactly this substitution for Larma and Byrne can take place. Larma's going to come in now. Buono goes 2 for 2 from the stripe. Back up to a 5-point game. Silkaitis to Larma, open lane. Tries drawing contact there. It's going to stay with York. Kehoe. Mid-range shot's not going to fall. Johnson goes inside, splits the defense. Layup's no good. No one's there for the board. Buono gives it back out to Barber for 3. Off left. Looks like she came down on her ankle hard. They play on. It's a 4-on-5. Kehoe out to Larma. A big three-pointer. Not going to fall. O'Brien gets the board. Stoppage and Howe is still on the floor. Excuse me. Barber's still on the floor. Trainers are going to come out.
Hopefully she's okay. Like you said, came down a little wrong on the ankle on that last rebound.
With that, we will step aside. Do not go anywhere. You are watching the regional championship here on York Sports Network. Welcome back. Barber helped off the court, being tended to by the trainers after coming down harder on her ankle. Ball inbounded to Larma. Lefevre gets doubled, kicks it to Kehoe up top. Now O'Brien. High corner, inside, Silkaitis. gets fouled.
Nice find by O'Brien, driving to the paint, creating that opening for Silkaitis to have the opportunity to go to the line.
Here, that's her first, team's second. Silkaitis shooting 2 shots.
First one from Silkaitis falls. Second one is good as well.
Back to a three-point game now, just one possession between St. Charles North and the Dukes.
York has not had a lead this entire game, but they are slowly inching closer and closer.
This defense definitely been able to keep themselves in the game, doing so much better than that first half.
4 seed versus 5 seed matchup, not disappointing. Howe inside. Can't get it to fall. Silkaitis up ahead. O'Brien on the trailer, goes inside, floater just off right. Larma there for the offensive rebound and putback. It's a 1-point game. Smallest lead here for St. Charles North this entire matchup.
Larma doing so good in the paint this game. Just another great opportunity taken by her.
St. Charles gym getting loud. Johnson over to Buono. High corner. Posada drives. Tough layup, won't fall. Howe's there for the offensive rebound. Out to Johnson for 3. Just off. Larma there for the board. Kehoe gets it on the other half. Goes inside. Blocked away by Furr. North breaks the press. Johnson, Euro step. Floater's not going to fall, and Larma is fouled on the rebound.
Glad they finally called that. Larma's been getting shoved around all night on those rebounds. It's a good call by the refs.
What a stretch of basketball we are seeing right now, friends, out of the break. 2 minutes left here in the third quarter, and a timeout called by St. Charles North. They only lead by 1 now, score 27-26. Zach, for the Dukes to take their first lead of the game and to maintain it through this game, what do they need to do?
They got to keep that fast-paced offense going. They started doing it way more in the second half, and that's what's been able to keep them from scoring. They've been going into the lane a lot more as well with Larma and Silkaitis. They've been having some good finds down there. And that's what's pushing them to hopefully gain the lead for the first time this game.
With that, we will step away. 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. You are watching the IHSA Regional Championship here on York Sports Network. We welcome you back. 2 minutes left. St. Charles North with a 1-point lead. The Dukes here with a chance to take their first lead of the game. May Lefevre in for York. O'Brien falls, gets it to Silkaitis in time. Shot won't go. Kehoe's there for the rebound, gives it out. Lefevre gets it thrown off of her. No, they're going to say it stays with the Dukes.
The foot touched out of bounds right before she could get that throw off. Good call by the refs.
Silkaitis tied up with Posada. Jump ball stays with York. Another inbound.
Silkaitis instantly swarmed when that ball first came in.
Looks like they're going to give this one in the backcourt to O'Brien this time. Lefevre inside, Silkaitis. Back out, O'Brien. Gets called for a walk.
I thought they were going to call a grab on her arm there before.
Minute 20. Furr to Posada. O'Brien switches onto her. Connolly. Out to Furr. Connolly for three. Yes! It's a 4-point lead again. Silkaitis gets this one across the timeline. Gets fouled by Posada. Clock stops at 44.6 seconds.
Not a lot of time left in this third quarter, but one more foul for each team will send them in the bonus.
Silkaitis to O'Brien. Now to Larma in the corner for three. Got it! Back to a 1-point game.
Dukes, great ball movement this entire second half. Larma found open for the wide open shot in the corner.
Posada sidestep drive. Johnson guarded by O'Brien. Connolly holds. Inside of 10 seconds. Furr. Posada. Goes inside. Sneaks it down low to Johnson. Deflected by Kehoe with .1 left on the clock.
Not sure if that's going to be enough time left for a shot. Maybe they're just going to throw it up and try and tip it in.
Shot won't count. Won't go. 30-29 your score. St. Charles North holding on by a hair. Their smallest lead of the night. With that, we will step away. Exciting fourth quarter action coming your way shortly. You are watching the IHSA Regional Championship here on York Sports Network. Teams coming out of their huddles. It's the 30-29 game heading into the fourth quarter. St. Charles North will start with it. They lead by 1.
Dukes really need to capitalize on defense here. Get a stop and try and take the lead.
Ball tipped out. Connolly being guarded by Callahan up top. Swats that ball. Posada's there for the save. O'Brien switches on to Connolly. Johnson, fake drive. Floater is good. Back up to a 3-point game.
Not much you can do there in that possession. Just a real nice floater over Silkaitis' head.
Callahan, 10-second violation.
Not sure how the rule works, but she had 1 foot over. Collins not happy about that call.
Understandably so. Howe up top, Posada to Connolly. Inside of 7 minutes. Posada on an island. Howe drives, baseline, looking, kicks out, Posada, corner three. No good, Connolly with the rebound. St. Charles North resets. Connolly to Johnson. Callahan switches onto her. Johnson switching gears. Tough move, got it to go. Ball stolen by Connolly. Ball stolen by Callahan. Stops in her tracks, gives it to Silkaitis. Silkaitis out to Callahan. A deep three-pointer. Off the front of the rim. Connolly sidestep, back to Posada. Connolly gets called for a walk.
Duke's got to be way more careful on defense now. With a 5-point lead, it's not enough to close things out, but with no shot clock, they can just take a ton of time off the clock each possession.
Callahan gets it across half. Fighting for it with Bona. Jump ball. Stays with the Dukes. Five and a half minutes to go. Silkaitis, tough pass there from Callahan. Gives it back up to O'Brien. Drives inside. Awkward angle, shot won't fall. Silkaitis pulls down the board. Dukes in crunch time. O'Brien to Kehoe. Larma can't control that one. It's stolen by Bona. Up ahead. Out of bounds, North ball.
Tough possession for the Dukes. They couldn't really set their feet and gain control there. The ball is flying all over the place.
Now inside 5 minutes. Furr out to Bona. Furr kicks it. Howe tries to give that one out to Johnson. She saves it. Silkaitis goes on the floor for that one. Going York's way.
Another great hustle play from Silkaitis. She's been all over the court.
Ball swatted by Larma. She secures it. No. Tied up with Howe. Another jump ball. This time it's going the Duke's way. York trailing by 5. O'Brien over to Callahan. Inside, Silkaitis. Kicks out, O'Brien, sidestep, fake. Loses control of it, taken away by Posada. Johnson, fakes, 3. Got it! Eight-point lead, timeout called by York.
Duke's
7-0 run.
Duke's just starting to crumble on defense, especially. Not able to get out there quick enough with this zone. Just unfortunate for the Dukes.
They still have time to come back. 4 minutes, 6 seconds to go. You're watching York Sports Network. We welcome you back. 8-point game. St. Charles North on a 7-0 run. Out of the York timeout. Callahan over to O'Brien. O'Brien. Callahan. St. Charles North now in a zone. Silkaitis layup won't fall. And a push. Foul on St. Charles North.
Off-ball foul, shove in the back.
Good eyes from the ref. 3.5 minutes to go now. York with another chance. Inbounding from under the basket is O'Brien. Ball tipped by Bona. Stops. Johnson drives, kicks, Howe. Being back down by Silkaitis. Furr tied up, and a foul.
Still time left on the clock. Dukes need to stop here.
Furr can't control that pass. O'Brien comes sprinting in for that one. Goes up and one.
That's the shot they needed. They got a little bit of momentum back in the gym for the and one for O'Brien. Hopefully she's okay.
Might have come down on her head a bit hard, but she seems to be fine. Gets it to fall on the and one. She's perfect from the line. 5 for 5 tonight.
I said at the beginning of the night, free throws would be a big deal, and she's done a great job at them.
5-point game. 3 minutes.
Duke's got to apply some pressure now.
Posada right wing.
Like I said, no shot clock, so they're going to waste as much time as they can.
Furr out to Johnson. Sidesteps. Posada getting backed out by Callahan. Changes gears and is fouled.
Not a good foul there. She was driving on 3 people. Got to just keep your hands up on that one.
So Silkaitis picks that one up. Only her second. Posada misses her first. Like you said, Zach, every free throw in this game counts. She splits. 6-point game. Wow, and it looks like Barber is coming back into the game, back from the locker room after coming down hard on her ankle in the third quarter. Larma, high corner. Another foul.
Falls on St. Charles North, number 30, Posada, her fifth, team's third.
Barber checks in. Posada comes out. Connolly back in as well for the Stars. Callahan gets this one in the left corner. O'Brien gets fouled by Barber.
They're at 4 fouls now, 1 away from bonus.
You saw the Dukes enter the bonus in the second quarter. Would be crucial and a save if they could. Callahan escapes the double team. O'Brien gets it up top, now swings it to Callahan. Jim getting loud. Inside of 2 minutes. Larma blocked in the corner by Johnson.
Dukes got to go quick. They're taking a lot of time off the clock right now, trying to get an open opportunity.
O'Brien fouled. And now the Dukes.
To the line.
And who else but Briley O'Brien to go to the line?
O'Brien shooting 2 shots.
Connects on her first. No chance to cut this to a one-possession game here, but a chance to minimize it. Got it again. 7 for 7 from the line. North trying to break the press. They do. Johnson gets it up ahead. Howe, one more. Johnson. Layup won't go. Silkaitis and Larma fighting with each other for that board. 90 seconds. Silkaitis is fouled.
She's fouled out. Johnson has fouled out 5 fouls.
That's their leading scorer as well. Correction on that. Oh, I think she is.
She was, yes.
Wow. First one good from Silkaitis. One possession game now. Silkaitis connects on her second. 2-point game. Buona up ahead. Barber. 1 foot and a half, 1 foot in front. Buona drives. Almost gets that one stripped. Howe goes slithering in. Makes it a 2-possession game again. 65 seconds to go. Silkaitis to Larma. Chucks it up. Won't fall. O'Brien fighting for the offensive rebound. Goes inside. Foul.
Great job from O'Brien. She just saved the ball before going out. Nice little fancy move to try and get to the lane, and she drew another foul.
O'Brien shooting 2 shots.
O'Brien breaks her streak. Still here with a chance to make it a one-possession game. Second one is good. 40-37 now, 56.8 seconds left. Jim is shaking. Barber gets it across half. And a timeout called by St. Charles North with 47.9 seconds left. You gotta hope you get one more bucket here. Try and extend your lead back up to a 2-possession game if you're the Dukes. Want to stop here. And we are in the danger zone, to say the least.
Yeah, their defense doing a way better job in this last minute. They got a lot of turnovers right now. They're getting the double team out there, causing the timeout to be called. And it's just going very well for the Dukes defense right now. Got to keep drawing the fouls on offense, keep going to the line, keep taking advantage of that.
Both teams discussing strategy right now. And this is going to be the end of this regional nonetheless. You saw 2 blowout games, I will say, in the first round here. First, it was St. Charles North soundly defeating Proviso West. Then it was the Dukes defeating Glenbard North. To find each other here, the Dukes have not won a regional title since 3 years ago. Came up short in the Lake Park Regional 2 years ago. Last year, came up short in the Geneva Regional. Every single time they have fallen to the host team, believe it or not. Looking to break that streak now. Barber has this one in the backcourt. Connolly throws it away. Yes, it's Duke's ball.
Great defense by the Dukes. She had no idea where her teammates were and just threw it away.
Now York with the chance to make this a 1-point game or even tie it up.
Duke's got to go quick now.
Gym is melting. O'Brien to Silkaitis. Out to Callahan. Larma drives. Gives it to Silkaitis. Layup won't fall. Wrapped up down low. It's Tomalak. York only with 3 team fouls, so they need 2 more to enter the bonus. And a timeout called by St. Charles North. Unfortunate right there. Silkaitis with a tough look, not able to capitalize. Fans looking for a foul. She was double teamed down low, but nothing was called. With that, we will step away. You're watching the regional championship here on York Sports Network. We welcome you back. 24.8 seconds left. St. Charles with a 3-point lead in possession. Zach, if you were the Dukes here, are you trying to foul immediately? Connolly gets this one across half. Over to Bona. Gonna chew clock. Silkaitis fouls.
Yeah, like you said, they were going to try and foul immediately. I think Collins told them to try and get the ball away first, try and go for the steal, but they wasted way too much clock on that.
Silkaitis with their 4th personal now, 1 away from fouling out. Also Kehoe with 3. O'Brien picks up that foul.
Regardless if she makes or misses these, the Dukes got to go quick. Obviously, if she makes even one, it's going to be a 2-possession game.
Tomalak misses her first. And a timeout called by Coach Collins.
They're going to ice the shooter.
Good idea right here. That's their final.
1-possession game here. If she misses, Dukes, hopefully Collins calls another timeout, giving them a play drawn up because they're going to have to go for the 3-ball here.
Yeah, correction. That was not their final timeout. They still have 1 more in their pocket. Just got to hope for a miss here. Quick rebound, swift timeout call. And the best you can do on the other side is try and send this one to OT with a 3. Got to be 3-pointer. With that, we will step away momentarily. You're watching the regional championship here on York Sports Network. Welcome you back. Tomalak at the line for her 2nd free throw. It's long. Larma pulls down the board. No timeout called. Tio getting this one across half. Larma has to fire for the tie. Got it! Got it! Got it!
You got to be kidding me. Avery Larma for 3 from deep.
Ice in her veins.
That's the biggest shot of Larma's career.
Shot of the season. Prayer thrown up. 1.3 seconds left on the clock. And a quick timeout was called by St. Charles North. Can they get a prayer of their own?
Yeah, they're going to have 3 seconds back onto the clock now. Just enough to try and get it down court and get the shot up. Larma, oh my goodness. I was just saying earlier, she's been doing so good in the paint in this game, getting so many rebounds, as well as just being a dominant force on offense. And she goes and does that. She is known for her three-point shooting, and she came up in the clutch.
Three seconds remain. Full court heave won't fall. We are going to overtime.
Luca, this is almost exactly like what happened 3 years ago for the girls. They went into overtime in their matchup. Different round, but this is going to be entertaining.
With that, we will step away. Fifth period coming your way. You are watching the regional championship here on York Sports Network. It's a 40-40 game heading into the overtime period.
Absolutely unreal shot by Larma coming up in the clutch. Dukes haven't had a lead all game, but they finally tied things back up. And now they have a chance to take the lead here.
Callahan gets it off the jump. Dukes start with possession, just like they did in the first. Ball stolen by Bruno. Bruno in the corner. Barber. Back to Bruno. Feed inside, Silkaitis. Excuse me, Kehoe on the floor for that one.
Good defense by Silkaitis and Kehoe, swatting that ball away.
Bruno to Connolly. Inside. Layup no good.
Another great defensive possession by the Dukes. They've been doing a great job at stopping Howe.
O'Brien spins free, gives it down low. Silkaitis out to Callahan. A three-pointer. Not going to fall. Silkaitis with the offensive board. Back out to Callahan. O'Brien to Larma. Another three-pointer. That one won't fall. Bruno. takes the lead.
Great job for her going across the baseline to get that one to go.
O'Brien to Silkaitis, outside, Larma tries again from 3. Not gonna fall, Kehoe there for the putback attempt, it's tapped out. Looking for a foul.
Looks like she got slapped on the underside when she was going up with it, no call though.
Silkaitis found wide open, ties this one back up at 42 apiece with 2 minutes left.
Great find from O'Brien, great call by Collins.
Sidestep, fake, Tomalak goes in, gives it down low. Buono, that one won't go, but the cleanup effort is there for Howe. Retakes the lead again, both teams just exchanging 2-point buckets.
Howe just so dominant in the paint with her height, she's very hard to stop.
O'Brien spinning free, goes inside, kicks, Larma. Looking, O'Brien gets fouled from behind.
She's going to be headed to the line, still bonus. Transfers from the fourth quarter.
They all carry over. O'Brien at the line with 2 crucial free throws to tie this one back up. Drains her first. Second one is good as well. 44 apiece. Howe, outside. Barber. Tomalak. Connolly, inside of a minute. Buono gets that one stripped away. Connolly, over and back.
Yeah, there was no tip off. As she fell, she tripped over on the play. I don't know what the
There's a
refs are
debate.
gonna say. One ref thinks it was tipped. The other one thinks she tripped and threw it over.
Huge call right here being discussed. Both sections trying to plead their case.
Not sure where St. Charles would get the ball if they call it their ball.
They'd get it right by their bench.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. They call it a tip. Change their call. Kind of unfortunate, very unfortunate for the Dukes. You don't see refs change their calls very often like this, especially in high school basketball without replays and stuff.
Coach Collins trying to get an explanation from the crew chief.
I just think you shouldn't be able to change your call after you make it, especially in high school basketball.
Overarching rule is that it is up to the crew chief, no matter who made the call.
The ruling on the board is that this is a jump ball.
They're going to call a jump ball because there is no resolution, so jump ball, north ball. In the backcourt, Barber, running point, gives it to Tomalak. Tomalak in the corner, Connolly. Barber inside, Howe kicks out. Connolly, a big three-pointer, not gonna fall, rebounded by Callahan. 25 seconds. O'Brien getting this one across half. Off to the races, Larma tries feeding that one to Silkaitis, but Howe is there for the interception. Kick out, Tomalak, a three. Got it! Got it! With 7 seconds to go.
And the Dukes are going to find themselves in the same position as last quarter. And they're going to have another clutch three-point shot.
A game of emotions right now, just ups and downs, both teams facing it. And now the Dukes have one more chance try and find their inner Iceman, tie this one up and send it to a double overtime. Still a decent amount of time left on the clock, 7.2 seconds. That's a considerable amount to work with. Get it across half, find a decent look. No, they add 9 seconds to the clock now, considering when Coach Collings called the timeout.
Dukes had such a great defensive possession for that whole minute. The overturn, like you said, the emotion, we thought it was going to be going the Dukes' way. They recalled it a jump ball, gave them that last opportunity, and she had just a little bit too much open space on that 3-ball.
Both teams coming out of their huddles. Interesting to see what Coach Collings will have drawn up. You saw Larma drill the shot originally to send this one to overtime. There are other looks that the Dukes can get. It's got to be a 3, though. Kehoe to trigger on the inbound. She gives it to O'Brien. Getting it across half, and she's fouled. And it's going to send O'Brien to the line for 2.
Smart call there by the coach. Not going to have the opportunity to tie the game up here.
Now, what O'Brien could do, try and go for the intentional miss on the second. Hope that Larma or Silkaitis can rebound. Her first one falls. 2-point game. Second one is good as well. Coach Collings calls another quick timeout. 7 seconds left. They're going to have to intentionally foul here. It is a 1-point game, so you can afford them to make both their free throws.
But then I wouldn't be surprised if the coach went right back down there and had them foul the Dukes as well. Just back and forth action, so one team decides to miss a couple free throws.
Someone's got to miss. 47-46 the score. What a treat, an overtime game to see who's going to advance to the Bartlett sectional. And like we said, this should be a good game in the beginning. It's a 5 versus a 4, and the 4 has the advantage right now, but the 5 is still showing fight.
Yeah, you know, in that first quarter, we thought it was going to be a little bit more low scoring than this. Both teams kind of started out slow on offense. The defense has been there the entire game for both teams, but the offense progressively has gotten better and better throughout the game, especially in that fourth quarter leading into overtime.
Kehoe the only one in the front court for the Dukes. They get it in. Got to get a foul off. Ball might have been thrown out of bounds there.
The ball was thrown out of bounds, but they called the foul first.
Now, if you want to have a discussion about that call earlier, you could surely have a discussion here about that one, but there seems to be no discourse between the officiating crew.
I don't think any of the refs picked up that the ball went out first.
It's going to send Barber to the line for 2. Maybe a discussion's happening. No.
The Dukes want a chance here. They got to hope for the miss.
Barber on her first. It's short. It's short.
4.3 seconds now. The Dukes are going to have to go as quick as possible to get this last shot up.
Second one. Finds its way in. So it's a 2-point game. The Dukes with some options here. You can go inside for a 2 to tie it up, or try and seal it with a 3.
The question is, do they have enough time to pass the ball down court? We've seen this whole game. They've really struggled with this press. Now, I don't know if they're going to press, but I'm assuming they will. So the 3-point ball might be their only option, depending on who's open down in the lane.
Interested to see the defensive strategy as well for St. Charles North, if they're going to just stack the backcourt, try and get a quick foul off. Should be interesting, but this will most likely be the final play of this period. And it's just been, like I said, a bunch of back and forth action. You know, the Dukes have not had a lead this entire game. Have not had a lead. They've only had a tie to send this one into overtime, and there have been ties in this overtime period. But they have not had a lead.
Yeah, absolutely unreal, like you were saying. No lead for the Dukes. I mean, played such a good game. The defense is the thing that's really been keeping them in this game, though.
They come out of their huddle now. Looks like they're going to have Keogh on the inbound again. Pretty clean with the basketball herself, so a wise decision. But man coverage being run in the backcourt by St. Charles North. She gets this one into O'Brien. O'Brien trying to spin free. O'Brien, trouble with the ball. Shot's not going to go. No foul called.
She was yoinked to the ground on that play, and no foul is going to be called.
Officials going straight to the lockers.
They threw her to the ground. I don't know what the refs saw, but they threw her to the ground on that play. That is a bad call. Bad call.
And that's how the season ends, folks. Tough battle. 48-46 your final. And like I said, the Dukes did not have a lead that entire game.
They played a great game, though. But yeah, no lead for that entire game. They kept fighting, trying to stay alive. Ended up losing by 2 in overtime. It was such a good game by the Dukes.
So St. Charles North will advance to the first round of the Bartlett sectional. Tough one to see as a Dukes fan, but that is how the playoffs work. Not NBA style, it's one and dones, folks, one and dones. And, shout out to this senior crew that we saw from this Dukes team this year. Olivia Silkaitis, Kayla Callahan, Ellie Kehoe. Van Euclid missed most of the season with an injury, but still had a great season. Paige Byrne, Kate Geiger. I don't believe I'm forgetting. I don't believe I am.
Elise Smith?
Elise Smith, yes. So that wraps up the 2026 season for the York Dukes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I have been Luca DeSanto. Alongside me has been Zach Silkaitis. Good night and go Dukes.